Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Day sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well in your world. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend a little time with you. As crazy as 2020 has been, you don't know pretty much from day to day what is going to happen, what has happened, what's about to happen, etc., etc., etc. Finally, some good news, and I hope y'all please charge it to my head, not to my heart. I hope I don't jinx it, but something really awesome, really good, finally happened in 2020. If you're scratching your head trying to figure it out, just think the 5th season, hurricane season, finally over. Oh, we can all breathe that huge sigh of relief, and probably as soon as I say that, we'll look up and have this crazy aberration out in the tropics. It has been a year to forget, and one of the oddities of the human experience is that you can have times that are one to remember and one to forget all at the same time. We have hopefully made it through this one none the worse for wear, but only time will tell. We start today's show talking about something that's grabbed my attention recently, and it is the continuation of a real troubling trend. I don't know how many of you are actively paying attention to, but the number of homicides and attempted homicides by young people is really disturbing. In the last week, law enforcement in Ascension Parish arrested a third person in connection with a double shooting there. Two 21-year-olds and a 22-year-old involved. In West Feliciana, the great city of St. Francisville, last week, a 19-year-old arrested for murdering a 17-year-old after a verbal altercation. Two 18-year-olds in Lake Charles arrested this week for 3 separate drive-by shootings in the span of 7 days. Here in the capital city, recently, a 15-year-old arrested in connection with the homicide. And right next door in Ascension, a 19-year-old recently arrested for stabbing a young man to death. It's troubling. And you've heard in recent memory the blame, quote unquote, being placed in different areas. Well, Clarence, it's the rap music, and no, it's the violence they see on TV, and no, it's the movies, and all sorts of things that we attempt to assign blame to. But I think back to when I was growing up as a kid, and there was all sorts of violence on television. We watched cartoons that, nowadays would be banned because of all the violence in them. We went to school in an era when you pull up to the student parking lot and you didn't have enough fingers and toes to count all the 30-30s, the 12 gauges, the 30-06s and the like that were in the gun racks, in the pickup trucks, in the student parking lot. And even though it was first, second, third, fourth year of integration, never once was there a school shooting. Never once did anyone entertain the thought of, after a fight, going to the truck in the student parking lot, retrieving a weapon, and shooting someone. How is it that we are so miserably failing our young people? You have to ask yourself, have we become desensitized to this? If you find yourself at this point in time reading these stories and it doesn't bother you, if you find yourself reading these stories these days and you just kind of shrug it off, at some point you need to ask yourself, what does this say about us? Is this just happenstance? Is it by design? Is it an unintended consequence of the fact that some people just can't handle freedom? What is going on with our young people? And before you say, well, Clarence, it's coronavirus, it's the lockdown, it's lack of socializing and so on and so forth. We were well on this path before COVID-19. And let's be honest about this. Ascension Parish, West Feliciana Parish, Calcasieu Parish, East Baton Rouge, the city of, at one point, and I know y'all will accept this in the spirit that it's given. If you know me in any way, shape, or form over the years, you know I don't mean this with any malice. It is simply the God-honest truth. Not so very long ago, this was a New Orleans problem. We don't have this kind of stuff in Lake Charles. We don't have this kind of stuff in St. Francisville. We don't have this kind of stuff in Baton Rouge. That's a New Orleans problem. Minors, young people, shooting, stabbing, murdering. What is going on with us? And I guess ultimately the question has to be, is the top too far off the box to ever get it back on again? What comes to mind with this troubling trend? Mark in Denham, did I hear you say, Marty? My man. Mark, how are you today, my friend?
How you doing, sir?
I know this thing strikes home with you, my friend.
It's the same thing we've talked about in the past. Number one, if there's no consequences in the home for negative actions, and they see no consequences in the judicial system, in the court system, and the prosecution for the actual crime committed, then they're wide open to do what they're doing.
Let's start at the beginning, Mark. No consequences in the home. When you and I grew up, if you did something of this magnitude and the officers at the jail said, okay, you get to make one phone call. You want to call your parents? First thing we would say is, oh, hell no, don't call my people. I'll just stay here. Please, for God's sake, don't call my father. Where have we lost this at home? Why are there no longer the consequences at home that would deter this kind of behavior, Mark?
We have a breakdown first of all, we've lost God in the family home. Mm-hmm. We've lost the fathers in the family home.
Yep.
So there's a reason why there's no consequences in the home. When they see no consequences for negative actions in the home, it filters straight back into the criminal justice system. When these people are arrested for one crime, it's a plea bargain down to a lower crime. When it's plea bargain down to a lower crime, then there's no consequences for what they actually did in the criminal justice system.
What does your gut tell you, Mark? Is this by design, or is this a matter of some people just can't handle freedom?
Some people just can't handle the freedom of it and the responsibility because they're not taught in the home.
Gotcha. Mark, thank you, my friend. If you doubt the authenticity of what Mark said, I ask you to consider this. In a home with particularly young males, after you reach a certain point, there's nothing a female can do with that young male. God bless them, there are lots of wonderful single moms out there. But they don't make them like they used to. Back in my day, there were single parent homes, I should have said, forgive me. But those mothers back then, get out of line and watch what happens to you. At a certain point, when as the old folk used to say, a young man starts smelling himself. Without a strong father figure there, English teachers, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Ain't nothing you can do with it. And eventually what will happen is he will run roughshod over that household. And once you get that mindset, Mark, you figured the rest of the world is supposed to be run the way the household that you come from is run, with you being in charge. We got a problem, y'all. And it is getting to the point of being major league proportions. I'm late on this break. Let me get it out of the way. I didn't hear so Marty must not be paying attention. Whew. We'll get this break out of the way. Come back and talk more next on the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Get 0.9% financing for 60 months on every new 21 Mazda, plus 90 days deferred payments during the season of inspiration at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Credentials, experience, and dedication matter when you're hiring someone. My 30 years in the practice of all areas of the law, my extensive appellate experience, certification as a family law specialist, leadership in our local bar association speak to my unequaled legal credentials. My thousands of hours of pro bono legal work demonstrate my dedication. I seek to serve, not for promotion, not for politics, but to honorably serve each of you.
Melanie Newcomb-Jones, Court of Appeal.
By all standards, he is a champion for consumers. Because of Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta, our utility rates are 35% less than the national average, the lowest in all of America. He saved ratepayers over $8 billion. Commissioner Scrametta brought us more reliable power plants and energy-efficient solar fields. Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta. Keep the commissioner who keeps our rates low.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, in talking with my dear friend Mark, it came to mind that one of the things where I think we are failing our young people, and it's both a blessing and a curse. Please don't misunderstand me. But we no longer have mandatory service to the military in this country. There is a discipline that is instilled in you in the military that lasts a lifetime. There is a discipline that you receive that you will inevitably pass along to your children. There is a discipline, and maybe more important, an appreciation for what this country truly is all about. My dear friend Marty gave me a story today that I love how things just fall into place sometimes. It brings all of this together. Let me share this with you, if I may. The recent West Point graduate, Alex, and I hope I don't butcher his name, Young man is from Haiti. Idrish, Idrache. Well, he's going to be Idrish for today. Alex Idris grew up in a slum in Haiti and tells the story of how U.S. soldiers were deployed to his neighborhood following that devastating earthquake there years before. He says their presence, the U.S. military, was the first experience of hope that he could recall from his childhood. He remembers looking at his dad and asking him, "Who are these people that are helping us?" His dad looked at him and said, "They are American soldiers." He looked back at his father and said, "One day I will be an American soldier." His father knew the situation in Haiti was unworkable and tried for several years to obtain a visa to come to the United States. After being denied for several years, he was finally granted a spot in Baltimore. He purchased a ticket on his boat for his family and left Haiti. They arrived, and Alex, remembering his dream in the slums of Haiti several years prior, looked for a way to join the United States Army. He found a National Guard program that allowed him to join the Army in exchange for citizenship. He didn't hesitate. After a series of fortunate occurrences, he was given one of the few spots at West Point for prior enlisted soldiers. Despite his severe lack of formal education, he graduated as an honor graduate, top 5% physically and academically, and the top student in the physics department. This picture was taken just prior to tossing his hat in the air. The realization of a dream that began 10 years ago in a slum in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. That's America, y'all. When I saw the story and I saw the picture with tears rolling down this young man's face, it reminded me of my late father. And I've told you this story before. My now deceased mother, on semester break one summer from Southern University, went home to Eunice, Louisiana. And as was the custom then, many of the college kids at home for summer break would go out and pick cotton to earn extra money to take back to school with them. My mother, out in the fields that day picking cotton, got overheated and passed out. So the students there brought her home to my grandmother's, her mother, Momo, Joyce Richardson in Eunice, Louisiana. As things would happen that day, my father happened to stop by my grandmother's house, and my mother was there. And of course, he inquired Hayes, short for Hazel, as he very adoringly called her, "Hayes, what are you doing here?" And I guess he could see she was laying in the bed and she's tepid looking, ill looking. And she fessed up. She said, "Well, Ed, I went out to earn some extra money today to take back to school because, you know, we don't have a lot of money. Things are tight. So I went out to pick some cotton and I got overheated and passed out." My father was incensed. I don't think, according to him, he's ever been that upset in his life. He proclaimed at that moment, "No wife of mine will ever have to pick cotton." The very next day, He walked in to the recruiter's office of the United States Army and joined up. Spent 27 years wearing the uniform of the United States Army. When I see this story of Alex Idris, it touches me, because contrary to what the liberals out there want you to believe, contrary to what the globalists want you to believe, contrary to what those out there with an agenda want you to believe, that's America. That's the beauty of the promise. That is the beauty of the opportunity. And you know, it says something that this young man that grew up in the slums of Haiti has more appreciation for this country, our military, and America than many of us do that have lived here our entire lives. It says something that this young man, despite little to no formal education, when given the opportunity at West Point, no less, an institution that typically we think of is reserved only for the best and the brightest, graduates in the top 5% of his class, both physically and academically. And on top of that, on top of all of that, he's an honor grad, the top student in the freaking physics department. But we've got folks right here, born here, never had to make any sacrifice whatsoever for the freedoms, the liberties, the opportunities that we take for granted in this country. Here's a guy that when given the opportunity, and you know, say what you will about us being so fortunate that we don't have to have a draft. Say what you will about the fact that our military is all volunteer. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to the human experience, you don't have as great an appreciation for certain things if you don't have to earn it. When something is given to you, freedoms, liberties, all the abundance that the land of milk and honey has to offer, you don't appreciate it anywhere near as much as if you had to earn it. This is a story of an Haitian immigrant. But it's more than just that. It's the story of America. It's the story of what makes us great. And despite what the left wants you to believe, damn it, we're great. And I make no apologies for it. And if we had more of us who were born here, more of us who were given these freedoms and liberties, if we had more of us that think the way Alex Idris thinks, we'd be a lot better off as a nation. This guy had every reason on planet Earth to fail. He had every reason to point the finger of blame in any direction at any person, entity, or institution to moan and gripe about his status in life. But one simple thing that he saw as a child, who are these people helping us? Son, those are U.S. soldiers. One day, I'm going to be one of those. And here he is. Should be a lesson to us all. And at the end of the day, yeah, we're fortunate. We're blessed. We don't have to have a draft. We've got still, to this day, enough young Americans willing to volunteer to do the job that many of us wouldn't have the fortitude to handle on our best day. But there's something to be said about serving one's country. There's something to be said about the appreciation that you get from serving one's country. It's a story a lot more of us should learn. Bottom of the hour break. We'll bang this out. Come back and, pardon the pun, soldier on this edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At Team Toyota, Toyotathon is underway. It's your chance to save during our biggest sale of the year. Get our lowest prices and our lowest payments on every new Toyota. Plus, get a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Toyota. Right now at Team Toyota.
Melanie has exactly what it takes to be passionate, to be knowledgeable, to be thorough.
Melanie has a passion for doing the right thing for families, even when the right thing might be difficult.
And I think that's best exemplified by the thousands of hours of pro bono work that she does.
And even after 30 years of practicing law, Melanie still has that fire.
Melanie Newcomb Jones, Court of Appeal.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. That that story I told my dear friend Marty I owe him. I owe him one because that story, man. Every now and then you come across stories that you relate to on a personal level, and that's one for me. With all the turmoil going on in our country these days, with the absence of patriotism in many corners, and it's certainly true that a picture's worth 1,000 words. I only hope that you took the time to really scrutinize that picture, to see the emotion in Alex's face, and the tears just, powerful image. In the capital city, James, you're up on the Clarence Bug Show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing fine, Clarence. How are you doing?
I am well, my friend. Thank you for asking. And I can't go any further without asking, how is the missus? How's Colleen?
She's doing fine.
Fantastic. What's on your mind, my friend?
Beside me. But you're showing that guy joined the service. I joined the service at 17 myself.
Uh-huh.
And spent one tour in and got discharged and joined back the second tour.
Right.
After 12 days, I got a medical discharge.
Wow. What was it, James, that led you to join at 17?
I was at home. I had a split up family.
Mm-hmm.
I had a stepfather and a stepfather that get along.
Right.
I needed to get out.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best place to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, it puts you training in your life that you have your whole life and you raise your children by.
Uh-huh. What would you say to a young person today about the benefits of joining the military, James?
There are great benefits of joining the military today. It's not the same as it was back when I was in, but they're a little different.
Right.
But they do teach you discipline and respect for other people real well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you had not joined the military, would you be able to relate to people as well as you can today?
No, I surely wouldn't because, I'm a white guy. And they have differences where in the military you don't know the difference.
Right. Right.
You're all the same. You're serving this country, no matter who you are.
Mm-hmm. And when you're in that foxhole and the bullets are flying, you don't really care about the color of the guy next to you. You just want him to know that he's got your back, right?
Yeah, you're not concerned about that.
Mm-hmm.
I rode in tanks. I cooked for them. I've done a little bit of everything when I was in there.
Bless your heart. So, how hard did you?
I'd say what you were talking about yesterday, that wasting that billions of dollars. A veteran can use some of it.
Yeah.
That's what really makes me mad because it took me 54 years to get just 30% of my benefits. Where I should be getting 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So how hard did you have to lie to be able to join up at 17?
My parents signed for me.
Oh, they signed for you? Okay.
The problem was, the first time I went up at 17, I weighed 115 pounds.
Okay.
They sent me home.
Right.
Told me to go gain some weight. So I went back to the house, ate bananas by the stalk. Enough weight to go back up there.
Right. Right.
Gained it up to I was 127 pounds, but it take me in.
Right. Wow. Well, do me a favor, my friend. Give the missus a big hug and a kiss and tell her that's from Clarence.
Okay. She'll holler at you.
Okay.
Clarence, you're one of my favorite people, and I just love listening to you. You have so much knowledge.
Bless your heart.
I don't think you should run for office.
You are not going to leave me alone till I run for something, are you, Colleen?
I know.
Bless your heart. It's great to talk with the two of you. Thank you all so much, and stay safe, friends.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Do the same. Colleen is not going to leave me alone until I decide to run for something. Bless your heart. You know, there are all sorts of reasons out there to join what is easily the finest fighting force on the planet. But I can think of no greater outside of patriotism and love for this country than to become a more well-rounded person. I've told you my story ad nauseum. 1969, my father gets his third deployment overseas. And on base in Kaiserslautern, Germany, there's only one school. And it's for all the kids of the military in K-Town, as we called it, Kaiserslautern. So I had the opportunity, and you got to understand, coming from a background where I really didn't know white people existed. Well, I knew they existed because I'd see them on TV, okay? But I never interacted with white people before, because then, 1969, you know, y'all live in y'all part of town, we live in our part of town. That's just the way things are. But when you moved on base and understanding that all of our fathers are in the military, and on any given day, any one of them may receive orders that you're shipping out to go wherever. And many times it involves a wartime footing. With that appreciation being the common thread among all the kids, we learned real quick, doesn't matter about skin color. All that matters is my father's heading off to a potential war footing. Is your dad gonna hold up his end of the bargain so that both our dads get back home safe and sound? That's all that mattered. And again, we are fortunate on one hand to no longer need a draft. But I got to tell you, y'all, as I look at what is happening with our young people in this country today, the lack of conflict resolution skills, the lack of patriotism, the lack of appreciation for the freedoms and liberties that we enjoy in this country, the lack of personal responsibility and accountability. Well, on that one, you could include a whole lot of older folks as well. I've got to wonder if we are losing more than we're gaining by not having mandatory compulsory service to this country. The Israelis have it right that there are two places outside of America on this globe that I think we could learn as Americans a real lesson from. One, the Israelis. When you hit 18, mandatory, son. You give 2 years in service to your country. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's mandatory. That's one. Second, the country of Switzerland. Most people, when you think of Switzerland, you always think of neutrality. Well, they don't want to get involved in other people's stuff, and anytime there's a war breaks out, they're always neutral. They don't take this side or that side. But you do also realize that in Switzerland, it is mandatory that every household owns a firearm. Every household, it's mandatory that you own a firearm. Funny how that works. You don't hear about all the foolishness in Switzerland that we have over here. You don't hear about all the foolishness in Israel that you hear about over here. Now, I'm not a betting man. Y'all know this. But I would take odds that maybe, just maybe, it has a little something to do with some mandatory things in those countries that we don't have here. Say what you will, Clarence, you old-fashioned, y'all baby boomers, y'all getting on up there in age, you old people, you say what you will about all of that. But it managed to serve us pretty well prior to now. I shudder to think what would happen if there was an invasion of this country. Of course, now you can very easily make the argument that, and I'd be hard-pressed to argue with you, nowadays the invasion comes from within instead of from without. Some of y'all not going to get that till later, but that's okay, as long as you get it at some point. Final break of today's show. Let me bang this out. We'll come back, wrap that pretty big old bow around this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing, 5 days a week here on the Pelican, the Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Credentials, experience, and dedication matter when you're hiring someone. My 30 years in the practice of all areas of the law, my extensive appellate experience, certification as a family law specialist, leadership in our local bar association speak to my unequaled legal credentials. My thousands of hours of pro bono legal work demonstrate my dedication. I seek to serve, not for promotion, not for politics, but to honorably serve each of you.
Melanie Newcomb Jones, Court of Appeal.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Welcome back for the final segment. Thank you, Mighty, for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I want to close today's show with an observation. And with it being the holidays, I can best describe it as I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice, and I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. Clarence, what are you talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked the question. This past weekend, I'm attempting to watch some college football. And one of the great things about 4K, the new 4K TVs, I think I told y'all I went on, took the plunge, bought a 4K. You now see detail really, really clearly that you couldn't see before. And I've learned now that the first thing I do is I check the back of the helmets and the patches on uniforms to see who's pushing what agenda. And I've learned they're getting real creative at how they try to hide this stuff, okay? I'm watching, I want to say it was Cal and Arizona. And if you know anything about college football, you know Cal, their colors are like a navy blue and yellow or gold. On the back of the Cal helmet, there is, in black only, an outline of the state of California. So I'm saying, okay, good for them. They're proud of their state. But as I look a little closer, I see the Black Lives Matter fist embedded in the state of California. So, okay, grab my remote, look up, you're off. So finally I said, you know what? I don't have time for this crap. I don't need this. So, dawned on me a couple of weeks ago, a week or so ago, since I went on and took the plunge for a 4K TV, and nobody's broadcasting anything in 4K yet, I said, all right, you got to go buy a 4K player. So, went out, took the plunge, bought a 4K player. Only bought one 4K movie, okay, so far. That was all they had in stock, something that I wanted to see. Transformers in 4K on a 4K TV, on a 4K player, boom, just crazy, crazy picture, right? So after I watched that, I said, okay, what else do I have to watch? Since I can't watch football without being insulted or preached to. So I started going through my Blu-ray collection. And for those of y'all that don't know, the 4K player has what's called an up conversion feature. Put in a Blu-ray, it up converts the picture to near 4K quality. Not as good as pure 4K, but better than Blu-ray. Little background. Like most male baby boomers, I was raised on Marvel Comics. I grew up Hulk, dude, good as it gets. Thor, bring out the hammer, bring down the lightning. Captain America, you name it, Marvel, I'm all in. So of course, when Marvel embarked upon this film journey and started releasing all of their comic books on film, I was all in. Age of Ultron, the Iron Man series, the Avengers, I forget the name of the first one, but I got them all on Blu-ray. So I plopped the Blu-ray in, the 4K player, on the 4K TV, ready to be blown away. And then it occurred to me, wait a minute. And let me say for the record, I'm bad with movie stars' names, okay? Unless it's like just total megastar. Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, what's his face from Raiders of the Lost Ark? What's the name? Harrison Ford. You know, unless it's just megastars, I don't know the names. I know the faces, okay? So I put in the Avengers, and I'm watching, I'm going, wait a minute. The woman playing the Black Widow, she just finished trashing half of this country, conservatives, calling us Nazis and all kind of ugly names. The guy playing Hulk, he just finished trashing conservatives, calling us idiots and all kinds of derogatory names. The guy playing Captain America, he just finished in the recent election trashing conservatives. It's a whole lot of them out there, y'all. So immediately, I hit the eject button on the 4K player, hooked up to the 4K TV, took the Blu-ray disc, snapped that puppy in half, y'all forgive me, and chunked it in the garbage. I know, let me say for the record, I know my little $20 Blu-ray, $25 4K disc is not going to make a big dent in Hollywood's pocket. But when all of us start to do the same thing, maybe then they'll get the message. We don't need y'all. Y'all need us. You got to hit them in the pocket. That's the only thing they respect. So I am making a list, and I'm checking it thrice. For those of y'all that didn't pay attention in class, that's 3 times. And I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. They will never, in my life, get another nickel of my money, and they won't get a 30-second span of my time. Well, Clarence, you ain't going to have a whole lot to watch. I've already divorced myself from watching anything on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSLSD, or any of them, because most of it is garbage anyway. You can't sit down with your kids and watch it. It's garbage anyway. That's time I could spend reading a book. That's time I could spend expanding my mind. But they don't deserve my support. Now, it's one thing for them to be an idiot and trash half of their audience. It's something else for me to be an idiot and support them after they do it. I'm making a list. I'm checking it thrice, and I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. They can come out with the greatest Marvel movie ever made in the history of cinema. Won't get a nickel of my money, and you won't get 30 seconds of my time. Just saying. Speaking of time, time's up and I got to go. All right, we got to do this real fast. Here we go. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect, but doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. We'll do it again tomorrow. God bless.